Hello everyone! Oh my god, blessed! The video just started and we were blessed. Today, there was another glorious day at the thrift store, which of course means another glorious day of crafting. She left us already. The video started so good. Goodbye, kitty. Oh, she's hungry. It's okay, we'll leave her alone for now. Okay, what was I saying? Yes, glorious day at the thrift store means a glorious day of crafting. Yay! It's a circle of life and I am in hell. I got this velvet piece of fabric that had quite a bit of damage on it, and the second-hand store really wanted 10 euros for this. Like, girl, be for fucking real, for 10 euros you get a piece like this in a fabric store without the damage. Like, what? So I basically said absolutely not and went back when everything was 4 euros, and it was of course still there, so I took it. So I don't really wear velvet, but honestly today is a good day to start. I am missing some like texture. I think it's so like cute for winter outfits. It gives like this cozy vibes to it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think there is the problem with velvet that I personally have. A lot of like the gothic stores would just like use velvet for everything, and it would look a little like cheap. Okay, let me elaborate this. This does not sound like how I wanted it to at all. I think there was like an extra script that I just didn't read. Okay, so for a little backstory, I live in a very small country and we had a very slim pickings with basically anything. For like alternative clothing, it was even worse. And so back in the early 2000s, the online shopping wasn't really what it is now, especially when you're in a very small country. It was even more limited and insanely expensive because of all the shipping costs and the import costs and everything. So, in my core teenage memories back in the early 2000s of trying to form a style, I remember all these gothic dresses that were basically all the same, and they all contained the cheapest velvet money can buy, bell sleeves, the illusion of a corset, and the world's itchiest lace everywhere. So, it was actually more like a Halloween costume, but it still cost a fortune because it was labeled as goth and imported from Germany. So basically now that type of dresses pop into my mind whenever anyone mentions a velvet dress to me. Because it's not the easiest fabric to work with. So I kind of had a little resentment, but now we're growing. I'm growing as a person. I'm giving it a chance. If I was able to give my ex-boyfriend so many chances, I can get velvet one. That wasn't even scripted, guys. They're just I literally cannot stop throwing shade. Also for this part, I apparently wish to be vertical. I guess this was originally a short, but my train of thought derailed again. So I decided to make a little cape and matching corset for a fun, winter little getup. I started with the cape since it would take a bigger pattern piece, since the cape is basically just one giant circle. For the front, I am using the velvet. Obviously, that's why we have gathered here. And then we have a thicker fabric, and that is just an upcycled old sheet. And for the lining, I have this fabric that used to be my bedding. But rats ate it, so here we are. I winged the circle pattern and cut it out 3 times. One of the velvet fabric. This one was a bit difficult since velvet has little hairs, right? So they all need to go the same direction, preferably down. So I say preferably because it won't happen. And we also cut this out of, the thicker fabric to hold shape and the lining. Then I sewed together the 3 fabrics. After that, I cut out some straps of satin fabric and I made a ruffle to go around the cape. I pinned that around the cape and just sewed it down. The ruffles are now sewed on and we're gonna put the lining in. I pinned the lining face to face and sewed it down. Then I turned the whole thing around and ironed it down. All that's left to do is finishing the neckline. I just pinned it and sewed it down. Now I had an idea about a little collar, but I didn't feel like doing it. I found these beautiful clasps in my stash and I have been waiting for a chance to use them, so I sewed them on the cape. So with the cape done, time for a little matching corset. Also, please subscribe. The video is going downhill from now. So for the corset top, I again used the same 3 fabrics as the cape, which is also why I cut the cape first, since corset has much smaller pattern pieces, so I just can squeeze them in. Now, as I mentioned, I don't really use velvet that often, and I think I have been squishing the pattern pieces a little too much and didn't think this through. So ideally, all the little hairs should be down. Yeah, ideally, we should actually be doing this on all the fabric, not just the one with hair. But we're not. I'm especially not doing that when I'm upcycling, because then I really have limited amount of fabric. I do it when I buy the fabric, but even that, sometimes I just don't do it. I told you it's going downhill from here. But anyways, we're just gonna, ignore that little screw up because I'm really not in the mood for criticisms today. So we have cut out the pattern pieces from the 3 fabrics and I have sewn them together. Then I sewn together the front and the middle fabric. For the tunnels, to fit the boning in, I used some of the straps I cut earlier in the video for the ruffles. And I have ironed the edges and I pinned them on the seams and sewed them down. Now for the straps, I cut them out of velvet, a thicker fabric and a satin. And we will be sewing a sandwich here and I turned the straps around, ironed them down and top stitched it. I attached that to the corset and I sewed the lining in. And then I tried the new technique to insert the boning, so I just ripped the seam around the tunnel and shove it in. So I have tried this before and it worked, but I was using a much different fabric than this. It was a thicker cotton, and this one, it has a lot of different characteristics, so it didn't really work out. So it was very difficult. This fabric likes to move around on its own a lot, and it was much more fidgety than the cotton I was using the other day. I have also actually just started sewing the boning directly on the middle fabric, but this actually takes me 3 more corsets before I try that and stick with it. But it's progress. Every corset top that I make, I learned something and it's actually better than the last one. I then made, top stitching and I also made eyelets. Now, the cape, done. Corset, done. Planning the photo shooting next week, perfect. But there is a problem. Looks fucking stupid. It looks so dumb. Jesus Christ. I think I should have put different fabric in the cape, fleece, which I was thinking about doing, but I didn't have big enough pieces and I wasn't in the mood to buy more. Even though, obviously this together would be very, matchy, a little too much since, it is a set and I would likely wear it not together, but still. I really dislike how the corset is shown here. It's a little bit that's very, very detailed, and it just... Also, this framing is not like so because of an artistic choice I made, but because of a stupid choice that I made. It's just not it, okay? So I did not take this to the photo shoot. So obviously I will need to fix like the cape, the corset by itself. It has a few issues, but it's gonna be fine. But the cape, nah. I'm not gonna, like throw it out. And I'm also not in the mood right now to take it apart and repeat the same thing I did. And also, it would fix just the cape situation, but it still would not be able to wear it together. Which, I don't know, even though I would choose not to do this, I think, if something is a set, it, at least should have the option of being worn together. That's what sets are for, right? But anyways, no, I was thinking, what if I take the cape and rework it a little bit so it becomes like an overskirt layer. So this might not work. I do have few petticoats and I do love this silhouette. So the plan is simple. We take the neckline apart and make it larger to fit on my butt. Then I make the little seam so all the layers will stay in place while we work on it. Then I took some leftover thick fabric I had at home and velvet I had left over to make the belt. Then I had to take some ruffles off and remake a little bit of a shape on the front because it just was not fitting quite right. Then the cat decided to put even more hair on this thing. I initially cut too much of the top, so I made a little pleat on the backside to, pull in the waist, and I then didn't have to cut anything, and the bottom was still very much full. Then I attached the belt on the skirt first, like so, on the inside of the skirt. After that, I attached some ribbons I had left over from something, because now I made the waist too small to attach a button on. Yeah, I know, very ironic. So now we have this a tying situation happening. So I closed the belt by top stitching it on the front side of the skirt, and with that I am finally done. And it is time for a try on. I love it so much. It is giving something I would love as a teen. Honestly, I am so impressed with the versatility of this. I also put together a quick little separate looks for corset and skirt. And now the seagulls had a lot to say apparently. I am obsessed with the corset. And so far I have only one other upcycled corset for daily fits. And I am extremely happy to get another one. Even though, I have not shortened the straps enough, so I will have to do that as soon as possible. And then I will be spamming in the outfit shorts, or maybe even before, we'll see. I am also really happy with the skirt overlay. Even though this piece is not perfect, I love the concept. And I'm also thinking of making maybe some smaller ones for the skirts that aren't so full. So this was a very nice trial piece. It's also a little too big now. I think I lost some weight while making this. So I do think that now I will have room to make a button on this. I know it's a little ironic, but we'll see. Okay. So subscribe to the channel or you're gonna be forced to wear matching sets forever. So this is gonna be it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.